Hi, this is Tim Bost with FinancialCyclesWeekly.com with another Astro-Traders video tip of the week. Right now we're getting ready for a Venus transit of Scorpio. This is something that happens every year. This year it's taking place from October the 8th through November the 1st. And we want to point out here that as this happens, Venus in Scorpio is in its detriment. Venus is not very happy, so to speak, in the sign of Scorpio. And as it makes its entry into Scorpio on the 8th of October in 2019, it sets up a time frame in which we can expect things to have a little bit of a negative spin, a little extra tension with this Venus transit of Scorpio that lasts until the 1st of November. Now here is a chart for the S&P 500. These are weekly price bars, so we can get a few years on the chart, and we're looking here at these red bar areas are the times that Venus has been in Scorpio in the past. If we look back here at 2015, we can see that there was a little bit of a decline during that time frame when Venus was in Scorpio that year. If we move up to 2016, we see essentially the same pattern, declining prices in the S&P during that particular time frame. Moving ahead to 2017, it was a different spin on things. The prices actually increased. It was in the midst of a rally with the market as Venus went into Scorpio, and it didn't slow it down too much. But what was really interesting was what happened in 2018. You can see the big decline in an extended period with Venus in Scorpio. And in fact, what was going on here was that Venus went into retrograde motion, and so it went all the way from Scorpio back out of the sign and then into it again. So we got this very extended period of Venus in Scorpio, and you can see the full impact of Venus being in its detriment, the major move downward in the market that occurred then. Of course, this year we won't have the same kind of retrograde effect extending the Venus in Scorpio period, but we can take a look by going back and looking at the previous history of the S&P, all the times that Venus has been in Scorpio in the past. We average all that together, and this is what the picture looks like. On our chart here, we have that 0 point in the middle is the date of the ingress of Venus into Scorpio, 30 days to the left and 30 days to the right to show the trends in the S&P on average. Now what happens here is we have that particular date in the middle. That's the date that we're looking for here on October the 8th with Venus being in Scorpio. And what we see here is a short-term move upward immediately afterwards. For 3 or 4 trading days, we can expect a little bit higher prices in the S&P to the tune of about 1/3 of 1%, something like that. But what happens afterward is much more dramatic. We get a big move to the downside, and in fact, we expect to see this to extend this time around. Since we've got Venus moving into Scorpio on the 8th of October, this should last until about the 25th of October with a general reinforcement of a downtrend in the markets. So that's what we're looking at with this Venus transit of Scorpio coming up from October 8th through November 1st. That's our Astro Traders video tip of the week. For more tips, subscribe today and go to FinancialCyclesWeekly.com.